Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. You guys are in for a treat because this is actually the first one of these videos that I've ever done. Um, Actually, it's going to be my second take. It's kind of funny. I have zero experience doing this, and I just took a video, ended up playing it back and realizing that my camera was actually oriented in that portrait, the up and down mode instead of the landscape mode. So here comes take two. Anyway, I was going to start this channel just because I've been watching videos about, knife collecting and been collecting knives for some years now. But I also kind of figured, it'd be a great way to kind of share what I've been carrying, but also kind of talk a little bit about, what I think about each of the knives and collecting in general and see what other people are carrying out there, kind of join the community of collectors. I kind of realized that over the years that a lot of times when you're collecting, you really don't get to see knives unless someone else has one, or you get out there and see a lot of knives at shows or stores. So really, like, every bit out there helps the community get to know things. So I think one of the things that I like about also watching content is the fact that really you get to see knives and hear what other people like about them, and it helps kind of build your informed decisions on what you want to collect. So it's kind of just a way for me to share also like what I feel about the knives, so that I have a good way of documenting my collecting journey. Some people really kind of get into the aspect of kind of really collecting. Like I've heard of people doing spreadsheets, and they take photos, and they, you know, do all kinds of collecting type of activities. I don't do any of that. I just sort of get what I like and use the things that I like. But this might be a fun way for me to just sort of get on here and share some thoughts and just relax and hang out. And one of the fun things I always found about collecting knives and watching other YouTube videos is just like kind of watching and commenting. And I've always thought that other people sort of, the way they're able to collaborate and talk with other collectors out there is just one of the better aspects of the community. So I mean, I'm just trying to really understand what we can do here with the YouTube platform. And like, even as I'm doing this, I'm realizing like, boy, that does not focus well when I hold it up closer. Not that it's that important, but I think it's always helpful to be able to kind of keep my hands busy so that I can talk. Let's do a little pocket check, right? Like, this is the GEC 77 pattern. This one, and you can tell from the tang stamp in the back here, this one is from, let's focus here, from the 2016 run of knives from Great Eastern Cutlery. So I really kind of really like this pattern, but I have other patterns, as you can see from down here. But this one is the one I've been carrying recently because I actually just refound it. Um, my wife kind of has a thing where she says that sometimes when you lose things, they just go on vacation. So that's what happened with this one, and I lost it for years and years and years, and I just found it recently, and gosh, it's one of my favorites from, especially from that era. And as you can see, one of the nice things about these knives is, and let me see if I can kind of show you even the back spring here. You can see all these little nicks and little dings, and I mean, just micro scratches. And the same thing with the bolsters here, right? Like, you can see that it's just got a million little scratches. And that's the cool thing about these knives, but also any knife. I really use everything. No, I'm not really like any kind of crazy hard use knife guy, but I do use everything, and I carry. And one of the cool things is that these knives develop a lot of character. Actually, they look better, I think, the older they get and the more they get used. Um, but you first get like one scratch, and it always kind of hurts. But then you get 100 more scratches, and it starts to really develop this almost pocket brushing. You know, it's something that you can't recreate. It's kind of like how you see those jeans where they come distressed and they kind of make fake rips and tears and distress on them, but really you can't replicate true wear and tear. And I think that's what you get with this, these little dings and nicks. And of course, you know, you've got the blade being made of high carbon steel. You're going to get that patina over time. And so that's kind of, to me, really charming, because the more you use this, actually, the better it looks in a lot of ways. This one's actually bone micarta, so the covers are made of bone micarta. And so I've heard different things, but I don't think they make this particular cover material anymore. I've heard that it was kind of a pain in the butt for GEC to continue making this material just because of the consistency of the product. But in general, I like it. I mean, it's just got a certain character. It's got these little imperfections, but I think that brings out a lot of quality character to it. You know, it's kind of resembles a little bit of a linen micarta or burlap micarta. You can see a little texturing, although it is smooth to the touch. It just feels like it's got a certain charm and vintage appeal, but it's really, this is just how the knife ends up looking. So that's what I've been carrying around recently. Anyway, we're getting up there. It's about 6 minutes in. Just really wanted to introduce the channel, introduce our, you know, kind of the concept here, which is me just getting on and kind of talking about what I'm carrying, knives that are kind of in my pocket. I've got a couple other things here. You know, I pretty much collect a lot of everything. I do have modern knives also, so we'll eventually dip into that a little bit, but mostly right now I'm into traditional folders. So you got the Victorinox, you've got another Great Eastern Cutlery. This one's the says right there, beer and sausage. And again, we'll go through each of these a little bit, maybe on their own, so that we have a chance to talk about everything. Here's a case, Canoe. This one's actually kind of one that I've more recently got. It's a this is actually, let me see if I can zoom in. It's a Shatton Morgan. So it's a brand that, you know, kind of doesn't really exist, I don't think, in its older form. But I think they still, or somebody must own them out there somewhere. But generally speaking, they used to make great knives. This one's probably from maybe the 20 teens, I think, was the last time they made these. Let's see, this one is a Western. I really like this one. I picked this one up actually not long ago at a knife show. What's really cool about this is it's actually almost pinchable, but it's kind of like this single blade trapper, I guess is the best way to describe it. I'm not really sure what the classification is, but I'm a big fan of single blades, as you can tell. But that's not necessarily always true. This right here is a Finch. It's more of a modern folder, but I like it. It's bright. It's not too intimidating. You can carry it around. It's a little guy. It's about the size of a Swiss Army knife. It's just thicker, and it's got a flipper, you know. But you can also actually, I mean, it's got a nail nick, but you don't really need it. It's just a fun little knife, and I think it's actually really usable for opening, you know, things, or sharpening. You can sharpen your you know, your pencils and stuff. So I keep this on my desk, but actually it's a really nice box opener, and I like this kind of thing because even non-knife people, like my kid or wife, could probably open this and begin to use it for opening boxes. So I like that. Anyway, you're gonna be seeing what this channel does coming up. I mean, it's mostly gonna be me, not gonna be doing much editing. I think I'm just gonna be, you know, really don't have time to do all that. So it's really for me to get on here, kind of share what we're carrying, and it's gonna be one single take, and then unfortunately you guys are gonna suffer through it. So it's already, what, like 10 minutes in, and I'm still rambling. But feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you think, what you want to see, or I think one of the fun parts about watching YouTube is kind of commenting and interacting with different people. So I'm totally going to read everything out there, and hopefully this will be fun. All right, see you next one.